From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, good morning, everyone. We got a lot to get to. And I know you've got a busy day, so let's get you right to the forecast and give you the essentials to get you out the door this morning. If you want to stick around after the 7-day forecast, we will, of course, go into a deeper dive. But we got showers, possibility for more thunderstorms again today, and I think it'll be a bit more widespread chances. Snow dropping to as low as 1,500 to 2,000 feet with cool and unsettled conditions through the weekend. But I think really today is kind of the biggest chance for some good measurable rainfall. Then after today, it's going to start to diminish here, mainly dry and warmer as we take you into early next week. So here's a quick look at your neighborhood forecast. There's the chance for thunderstorms in the valley. Snow levels are going to be lower. The colder air is moving in today. And then, of course, we've got those showers coming in later this afternoon and PM showers, especially for the north end of the north coast, in particular around Del Norte County. And then, of course, you can see, of course, the chances for Siskiyou, Modoc, and not to mention the eastern mountains. It's all because of this right here. This is the colder air I've been talking about, and it has just been diving down to the south here. And on the east side of it is where we have that instability, and that's where we are. And that's where the showers and thunderstorms will be. So there's your severe outlook. Basically, all of Northern California, everyone at least has a chance to see a thunderstorm or two. Doesn't mean everybody will, but it just means that the conditions are prime for that to set up here in many locations. So let's take a look at that. Here's this morning. We take that area of low pressure and see how it shifts to the south. We've got that rotation around the low. Now, again, I was talking about the chance for PM showers, especially for Del Norte County, because look at through the morning and into the noon hour. We're just not seeing a lot to the north, out towards Modoc, Siskiyou, or even Del Norte County. But you head to the south, into central southern Humboldt, eastward, you got showers, maybe some thunderstorms popping up. I've got snow levels between 1,500, 2,500 feet. That's off into the higher elevations there. And then, of course, that will shift down to the south, but we're still seeing more kind of working its way northward. So now Modoc, Siskiyou, and even parts of Del Norte County seem the potential for some activity here. Snow levels, once again, still between 1,500, 2,500 feet. Could see a stray shower or thunderstorm here as we take you through the afternoon in the valley, and not to mention even some of those higher elevations. Now, that low pressure system dives down to the south even more. Tonight, we're seeing more snow. In fact, snow levels probably dropping as we go into tonight as the sun sets and things begin to cool off a bit. Then we take you into your Friday morning. Still a lot of leftover snow activity here to the east. Now, this is not terribly heavy snow, but snow nonetheless, and this is going to have an impact on your travel, especially if you're heading east of I-5 in the mountains, say in the Southern Cascades and Northern Sierra. Many of those higher mountain passes, I think, will be looking at chain requirements. All right, now we're going to take you into the noon hour on Friday and see what's happening. We're getting more of what's called a northwesterly flow. That's the upper level pattern where the activity is moving from northwest down to the south and to the east. So there could be a snow flurry here and there as we take you throughout the day tomorrow, and maybe even an isolated shower for even parts of the valley. But it's going to be few and far between. Quite honestly, it'll be drier than it will be wet as we take you through the day on Friday. There's Friday night at 10 p.m. Again, maybe a snow flurry here and there, but overall, just not a lot going on. Then we take you into Saturday morning, another weak disturbance kind of trying to push through, but overall, maybe some showers along the coast Saturday morning. And then again, for everyone, mainly dry, although we could see a stray shower, a sprinkle, maybe a light snow flurry here and there. And when we look at the forecast rain totals, it's really not going to amount to much. You can see it's mainly focused down to the south and southwest here. So, maybe picking upwards of a few tenths to maybe a little over a quarter of an inch for some spots here in the valley. And of course, a little bit less as you head off to the north and east. And snow, I think it might be overdoing it in some areas like Mount Shasta and Shingletown. But I think the bottom line here, when you're looking at this, is that some of these lower mountain communities, even like Weaverville and Hayfork, not out of the question to maybe see some light accumulations, especially during the overnight and early morning hours. During the daytime, it tends to be a little bit more difficult for us to see some of that accumulating snow. Now, looking at the next 3 days, those storm impacts, there you can see we are getting within that minor to moderate, especially to the east. So this is where I think we're going to see the best potential for chain requirements over the next few days. You'll notice off to the west, it doesn't seem to be quite as bad, but places like Buckhorn Summit, Oregon Mountain, and Berry Summit and Highway 299. We've got to watch that because that could be something we'll have to really watch here very closely. So again, tomorrow, just when we kind of look at tomorrow and even going into Saturday, you see how conditions do improve over the next few days. Now the winds, yeah, they're going to be pretty gusty, especially along the coast here today. And even going into the evening hours, pretty gusty there. Breezy, off and on here is essentially what we're looking at. Minus, of course, those really gusty winds that we'll see on the coast today. It's going to be more of kind of off and on nuisance winds that I like to call them here as we take you into the next several days. So overall, not a ton of winds, but certainly something that you're going to notice here off and on, especially along the coast. Now, Trinity County neighborhood forecast, there it is. It's dropping. Temperature is much cooler, only reaching the mid to upper 40s for your daytime highs. Look at Mad River, only about 39 degrees. We take you out for the north coast with 47 for Rio Dell, 50 out in Honeydew, and 52 degrees in Eureka. We take you up north with 56 for Gasquet, 58 for Smith River, 54 in Hoopa. And as we take you off to the east for your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, we got temperatures low to mid 40s for your daytime highs. So yeah, it is getting colder out there. And of course, that's going to mean those lower snow levels. Tule Lake, 43, 42 degrees for Calpines, and there's Aden with a high of about 41. Eastern Mountains, temperatures in the 30s, even some 40s in there. 40 for Westwood, 44 degrees for Greenville, and 41 degrees in Portola. And how about your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractors? Of course, temperatures are going to be in the low 50s. Again, much cooler than it has been. It's going to be noticeably cooler. I mean, you think about highs around 80 a couple of days ago, highs around 50. You're talking about a 30-degree drop in some spots here from what we've seen over the last few days. So yes, very noticeable when we're talking about those temperatures. Now, looking at your 7-day outlook, we've got a chance for showers and a chance for thunderstorms today, off and on. And then on Friday, there may be an isolated shower here and there, and I'm just going to call it mainly dry on Saturday, Sunday. Here's the thing. It's going to be dry, right? But every once in a while, on both days, Saturday, Sunday, if you run into a sprinkle, maybe even just a light passing shower, don't be surprised. But it won't last for long, and it's not enough to cancel the outdoor plans over. And then, of course, we're really warming things up as we go into Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday of next week. All right, that should get you out the door, get you out the day. Hope you have yourselves a great day today, but stick around. If you want to get into a deeper dive forecast here, want to remind you of the free Weather NorCal app. Everything I offer here at Weather NorCal, you can get there right from your phone. So be sure to check that out. Search for Weather NorCal in your app store and download the app for free. This, again, here's the area of low pressure spinning right here. Speckled clouds, that's cold air. This is an unusually cold storm system for this time of the year. I mean, to talk about snow levels down to as low as 1,500, 2,000 feet, a little unusual in April here, but that's the area of low pressure. It is going to be kind of moving itself off to the north and east, and then there you can see Friday. So Friday still maybe a leftover shower or two, but notice the flow, and these weak disturbances are going to be kind of passing through Saturday and Sunday. They're very weak. They're fairly moisture starved. So again, anything we do see over the weekend is going to be light, few and far between, not only for the valley, but even for the mountains. And then going into early next week, we've got high pressure building in. Now that's going to dry things out for Monday, Tuesday, and really most of next week is looking fairly dry. However, I am seeing some signs of this, right? Some storm systems that toward the end of next week may have an impact on our weather. No guarantees. That's kind of some of the first indications I've seen that. But looking at the long range here, the Climate Prediction Center is keeping us below normal in that precipitation outlook. But temperature-wise, again, there's that colder air that's over us. It's shifting eastward. So still cold even on Friday. Snow levels may inch up of, 500 feet to 1,000 feet higher, but not much higher than what we're going to see here for today. And then another pocket of cooler air comes from the north, but number one, not as cold, and number two, it's not going to dig as far south. So temperature is not dropping as much, and as a result, snow levels, if we see anything, are going to be a bit higher as well. And then again, that ridge of high pressure building in, that's really going to warm things up here as we go into next week. In fact, I think it'll peak sometime around Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it kind of shifts off to the east as we go towards the end of next week. And again, there's that storm system off to the west that may quite possibly have an impact on our weather, but the temperature outlook Climate Prediction Center is keeping us above normal in the long range. All right, so here's your wave heights. They're fairly high today. In fact, there's a small correct advisory through this afternoon, which will then eventually be upgraded to a gale warning. So these are things we need to be aware of if you do need to be out on a small boat here. And of course, there's through Friday at 5 p.m. They should drop a little bit here. But look at the winds. They're going to be increasing. Not that bad this morning, but they'll be increasing through the day upwards of around 25 to 35 knots. There, of course, is that small correct advisory I was talking about. All right, so for today, just kind of a grand scheme of things here when we're looking at all of Northern California. Temperatures, instead of around 80 for the valley the last few days or a few days ago, we're only reaching the low 50s for your highs. How about those 40s? Low to mid 40s here for the higher elevations and low to mid 50s out along the coast. In fact, more mild weather along the coast than it will be in the valley. So there's that chance for showers, thunderstorms for everyone. Mountains, valley, foothills, even the coast. And then, of course, isolated. Not much going on Friday, and then much less going on over the weekend for the valley and warming up as we go into next week. Your 7-day outlook, chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms, maybe some snow flurries or a mix in there for Weaverville and Hayfork for today, not to mention even tomorrow, and then maybe an isolated shower or two on Saturday as we go into Sunday as well. But again, it's very much few and far between and won't amount to much. And we look at your 7-day outlook for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. Again, those snow levels around 1,500, 2,500 feet, give or take, depending on where you are. But again, we're not going to see a ton of snow. This is not going to create massive problems. But you do need, and I do want to stress this, and I'm going to come back on the camera so I can look at you and say, please, if you're going to be traveling in the mountains today, tomorrow, don't let your guard down. I know it's April, but just check the road conditions because Mother Nature always has a way of surprising us. So keep a close eye on those road conditions here over the next few days. Otherwise, again, not a ton of snow, not a ton of rain, and then, of course, it dries out and warms up going into next week.